Hello there, you're watching QTV's This Morning program, and I am your host, Jenna Basonko, and I'm joined by my co-host, Ibrahim Abalde. It's a beautiful morning.
Yes, Jenna.
Yes.
It's good to be here, and it's a beautiful morning. We are back again to take a very smooth ride.
Exactly.
As usual.
Yes. And you know, I love the pink.
Oh,
it
really?
Looks so good on you.
Pink.
I love it when men wear pink.
Pink is my favorite color.
It is.
You see,
Oh,
it happens
my
as a
God.
coincidence this morning when I came in. At the wardrobe, I have to take this one. I love it. I love
it
pink.
looks really, really good on you.
Yeah. So what's up? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm good. I rested a little bit yesterday. I was so tired, had a lot of things to do.
Yeah, because
Youth dialogue preparation.
Yes, I know you are that type of a person who don't relax. You're always here, there, doing videos.
Exactly, like people say, "Munta talk be in a
Wow,
class."
exactly.
I just, want things to be done, going up and down, just to make sure things are done.
Yes.
But it's a good thing for me. So today, we have interesting topics to talk about.
Exactly.
If you're just joining us for the first time, this is QTV's This Morning program, coming your way from Monday to Thursday, from 10 a.m. to 11:30. The program is here to just make sure that you have memorable and exciting mornings. So just to give you a rundown of what we have for you today. Today we have the motivational quote that we actually introduced yesterday, just to make sure that you're strong in the morning. You're strong and determined to achieve the things that you want to achieve every single morning. And we also have the newspaper review segment today, and we are joined by the New Day editor-in-chief. We also have the Community Watch segment. Today we'll be looking at the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccination for Q Group staff and family. We'll be bringing you activities happening there live. We also have social issues. We'll be discussing reparations today. We have Esa Jallow, Head of Communications at TRRC. There are a lot of ideas when it comes to reparations, a lot of misconceptions. People are talking about a lot of things in relation to the TRRC reparations. So Mr. Esa Jallow will come here and help us clear the air in relation to these things. We also have the Keeping Fit segment, footage from Q City. We have the sports update, and lastly we have the entertainment update. We couldn't bring the Keeping Fit segment yesterday as well as the sports update due to time constraints. We apologize for that, but hopefully we'll be able to bring it your way today. So like I said, we introduced the motivational quotes yesterday.
Exactly. Motivational quotes are very important, especially for mornings like this.
Exactly.
I mean, it's important for you to start your day with something that will keep you going.
Keep you moving,
the human being, you need something that will give you confidence.
Exactly.
There are a set of people that whenever you give them, words can change your day.
Yeah, I mean, Oprah's words, keep me going. Sometimes I get to go to her Facebook page and take a look at some of the things that she's been through and where she is now. So I'm like, who am I not to actually also push?
If you are down and someone tells you, you can do it, you can make it, push it, come on. It gives you confidence.
It gives you confidence. So today, our motivational quote is by Will Smith, the actor Will Smith, and it says, haters are the people who will broadcast your failures and whisper your success. What does this tell you?
Well, this involves a lot. I mean, there is a lot of things on this. When you look at this quote, I mean, you have a lot of ideas. I mean, we can mention a lot of things. We can mention
there are a lot of examples in relation to this.
Yes. So there are people that whenever you are successful, they might not like it.
Yeah, they don't even want to say it.
Exactly.
They'll be like, hey, Ibrahim.
Absolutely.
But when Ibrahim fails, they'll be like, hey, he lost his job.
Exactly. So
these are the two different things.
So one have to understand in life, you must face difficulties and situations like this. But that doesn't have to make you, succumb to, I mean, some of the things they are telling you. So you have to keep pushing, you have to believe in yourself and make sure, I mean, we came to this world with nothing. So, I mean, it's work, push it and make sure you be there.
Yes, so like I always say every morning, you're out there, you're pushing. Know that you're bold, you're beautiful, you're confident, you're going to make it. Whatever the case, you can make it. Looking at most of these successful people, like you said, they had nothing. At the end of the day, they had to do it from scratch. They started somewhere and eventually they are somewhere. Like the quote that we talked about yesterday, being a winner does not always mean that you have to get that trophy or you have to get that certificate or you have to get that award. Being a winner is left to you, and it's left on how determined you are to keep on going every single day.
Exactly, moving it. You just have to plan yourself.
Yes.
You make sure you push it. But Janaba, you cannot also win without putting any effort. I mean, always.
That is the thing.
Yes.
So that is why we always talk about determination.
Exactly.
You know, you have to be determined to do these things.
You have to be prepared, get ready. I mean, you have to be hungry.
You have to be hungry.
Absolutely.
Well, people say I'm hungry though. You seem hungry too. I can see you go for the things that you want. So that is the motivational quote. So like I said, this particular segment of the This Morning program is just meant to make sure that when you wake up in the morning, you have that energy to go out there and achieve the things that you want to achieve. So we will take a short commercial break. When we come back, we will head right on to the newspaper review. Do stay tuned.
Today, any person who is above the age of 65 years is qualified to contest as president of this country. So it's not made for Ousainou Darboe as people, and in fact the media sometimes, falsely project. After all, removing of the increase in the age of judges before they retire, what benefit is that to Ousainou Darboe? Well, I mean, you take back prodigal sons, but when they are not prodigal sons, we don't take back home. See, politics, there must be this issue. That's what I was telling, I had earlier said, you do not look at a political advantage. If all of them were to come back and accept that, we are taking a political advantage. And then we'll be deviating from our principle. Have they been cured of the cancer that led us to exercise them?
State of Affairs, airing tonight.
State of Affairs airing tonight. That interview with Ousainou Darboe, lawyer Ousainou Darboe, seems interesting.
It will be very interesting.
Yes, you don't have to miss it.
And look, to your TV and watch it because it's going to be very interesting.
Yes.
You've seen some of the
shows there.
Exactly.
I can't wait to see it tonight.
Yes.
It's election year,
yes.
And it's good that these politicians are coming out to talk about issues, and then as citizens we will get to make informed choices.
I like the fact that QTV is trying to get both sides of the story.
It's important.
When you look at it, last week the president was on TV with Aliou Cissé, and now we are,
seeing
so it's important.
Balance.
Yes, exactly.
All right. So moving on, we will head right on to the newspaper review. Like I mentioned, we have the editor of New Day right here in the studio to help us analyze some of the things that we have on the newspaper. So what is on Foroyaa today?
Oh, well, Foroyaa, big story. APRC hands over petition to President Barrow through Justice Minister.
Okay.
We also have 8 children hit by alleged speeding vehicle in Pachar.
Okay.
What an unfortunate incident.
Yeah.
KMC installed new deputy mayor amid resignation of Pa Musa Bah. Okay. We also have 18 COVID-19 patients currently on oxygen therapy.
All right, that is what we have on foreign newspapers.
Yes.
So moving on to Standard, we have APRC tells government to reject TRRC reports. We also have KMC CEO Finance Director suspended over corruption allegations. Gorgui Mbub back as anti-crime commander. Government urged to tackle water shortage in rural Gambia. We also have journalists trained on dealing with fake news in election period. APRC must not make UDP's mistake by trusting President Adama Barrow. That's all we have on the Standard newspaper.
On the Point newspaper, Gambia Action Party leader spends Tobaski at police station. Gambia Embassy steals the show in Dubai as Papsen honored. We also have London Metropolitan Police facilitates Senegambians. National Commission for UNESCO validates digital learning environment report. This is what we have on the Point newspaper.
Okay, moving on, Gambia Daily, we have World Bank supports Gambia's health sector with modern tech equipment. Gambia backs UAE's bid for Interpol presidency. Bassa reacts to new $107 million market. We also have the assignment. Let's talk about male infertility in the country. So that is all we have on Gambia Daily. So that is all we have on the papers on today's This Morning program. Like I said, we are joined by the editor of New Day to help us analyze some of the stories that we have on the newspaper. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Exactly. So let's talk about APRC tells government to reject TRRC report. Quite captivating. Do you think this is fair?
Not fair at all. We've watched the TRRC. Yeah. We've seen victims come out and talk about how they were victimized. And for some group of people, because the former president was their leader, for some group of people to come out and say that the report should be rejected, I think that is the height. That is the height they can go. That is as far as they can go, because people need reparation. People need justice. Justice has to be done. People suffered. People went through a lot of things. So I think it is unfair for some group of people to come out and say, okay, the report that comes out of it should be rejected. I think that's the height of it. It should not. I don't even know what to make of that.
Yeah. So taking a look at it, Ibrahima.
Yes.
APRC tells government to reject TRRC reports, and currently there are talks. People, it's alleged that APRC and NPP are trying to form a coalition.
Yes.
So, do you think that has a connection to this? Why now? Why is APRC coming out now when that allegation as well is being made? What do you make of that?
Why are they bold? The boldness is what is even. Why are they? What gives them the courage to come out and say this has to be rejected? I think there's probably a backing. I think there's probably a backing from the NPP. So maybe this coalition, I'm thinking, yeah, it's probably going to happen, because if these people can come out and say that, okay, the report from TRRC has to be rejected, there has to be some backing, you know, maybe some backing. Yeah, that's my belief.
Let me take you through some of the points mentioned on the petition.
Yes.
According to Fabakary Tombong Jatta, he mentioned on the petition that it's not about the TRRC hearing. It's about some of the appointment of some of the commissioners. He said it's illegal. Dr. Cisse's appointment is illegal. What do you think of that?
Dr. Cisse's appointment is illegal?
Yes.
I don't know.
Do you think Dr. Cisse's appointment is illegal? I mean, I think Dr. Cisse have the technical know-how. I mean,
yes.
He's been involved in such kind of cases for a very long time.
Yes.
So APRC coming out with a petition saying Dr. Cisse's appointment is illegal.
Yes, so it's based on those grounds, but like she said, she feels like there's a backing. It's left to the public to make their own decision in relation to that. But we will follow developments in relation to this particular petition, and we'll keep you posted as development comes to us. So moving on, we have KMC CEO, Finance Director, suspended over corruption allegations. So don't you think now is the right time for us to actually set up as quick as possible the Anti-Corruption Commission to be able to fight issues as such? What do you think?
I think these people are scapegoats. I think my belief is that this has been happening, maybe, but these people are scapegoats. They just happen to be caught, yes. So I think this is the right time that if quick action was not taken and at least 7.6 million was recovered, imagine how much money would have been lost. So I think it needs to be set up as soon as possible. It needs to be set up as soon as possible, because I'm sure there are other, I just believe, that is my opinion, that maybe there are some other, in other organization, that something like this, things like this is happening. And these people are just scapegoats.
So if this particular commission is supposed to be set up, what recommendations do you have for government or in terms of setting up these things? Because when it comes to setting up commissions in the Gambia, people are always discouraged because they feel like the CRC, that particular commission couldn't achieve what they wanted to. The TRRC, we are not sure, and other commissions. So how can we make sure this particular anti-corruption commission is different from all other commissions in relation to achieving what they want to achieve?
To begin with, the TRRC, in setting up commissions, we should always expect results. And TRRC, we should, I don't know, they should be brought to book or something to ensure that we get results from them, because
actually, these are things they're working on.
If we keep setting up commissions, if we keep setting up commissions and we're not getting results, what is the point of setting up more commissions. So we have to ensure that the existing commissions, that they meet what is expected of them. Okay. And if that happens, then other commissions that are set up will be able to meet.
So like she said, commissions should bring about reports.
Exactly. I mean, yesterday when I was watching the mayor on QTV, I mean, he mentioned something very important. That is, I think, what he mentioned was disciplinary measures should be decentralized.
Yes.
You know, they did not have the authority as a council to at least put disciplinary measures. So don't you think it's important?
This is the thing. This is the thing. They should give them the power. Because if we are not giving them the power, like, they should be given the power. Otherwise, I don't know, everything will be left with the government, be holding on to the government to make decisions. But a commission like TRRC should be given the power. I don't know. Should be given the power. If this happens, I mean, people, when other commissions are set up, there'll be hope that, okay, we'll get to result. Yes.
Genoa, recently there was a report by U.S. State Department. They said Gambia is turning a blind eye
on corruption.
On corruption.
On corruption.
Do you think that's a good?
It's not.
It's a good reputation.
It's not a good reputation at all. It's not turning a blind eye to corruption. That is not a good reputation. A few years ago, I don't know. Maybe the former president was covering up some things, but Gambia was known as one of the least corrupt country in the world. And maybe that was, maybe the former president was covering up some things.
Yeah, like the TRRC
has revealed that.
And the Ghana Commission.
And this TRRC is supposed to open our eyes to a lot of things. Yeah. It's supposed to help us. But then if people are saying that Gambia is turning a blind eye, what's the point of the TRRC? What's the point of all the commissions that have been set up?
Yeah.
Like,
but the TRRC obviously has nothing to do with corruption.
Yes. I'm just saying that the issues that were brought up,
we should learn from them.
Yes, we should learn.
And we have to remind the viewers that also the TRRC recommendations are not here yet, so we can't jump into conclusion as in if it will be implemented or not. We are still waiting for the white paper, and if it comes out, then the government obviously has the responsibility for its implementation.
On the issue of KMC, the deputy mayor resigned from his position
on personal grounds, he says?
But he still retained his position as a councillor of Latrikunda Hiringanya. What do you think of that? I mean,
and there's an allegation on his side, but the mayor said it's yet to be confirmed.
Wow. If he resigned.
Yes, he resigned as deputy mayor, but still he retained his position as a councillor.
I don't know. I don't think that makes a lot of sense. Okay, I'm sure he resigned because of the allegations that are leveled against him. The allegations that are leveled against him. So I think it should be suspended from, at this point where, investigations is still ongoing, it should be suspended from any form of public.
Yes, but just to also make it clear that in this particular instant, the deputy mayor is not part of this particular scandal, because this has to do with the KMC CEO and the finance director. But there's a separate allegation. And according to the mayor on the press conference, yesterday, he did mention that it's not clear yet. So we can't actually jump into conclusion.
That's what I'm saying, that for now, they're under investigation. So I just believe that any position he holds as a public officer should be suspended for now until investigations are completed.
So he resigned on personal grounds.
The problem here, Genova, he resigned on personal grounds. But at this time, you know, the situation is very hard.
It is.
You understand? So if he resigned at this time, what will people
say? Be like, okay, he's guilty or something, or.
Well, they are carrying their investigation. Let us wait and see.
All right. What will happen? Yes. So moving on, we have Gorgui Mbub back as anti-crime commander. So we know there was a case in front of the Human Rights Commission in relation to Gorgui Mbub. Obviously, we all know about that. The report was out by the Human Rights Commission, and he was eventually removed as anti-crime commander and taken to Farafenye. And now we are getting reports that Gorgui Mbub back as anti-crime commander. So do you think this is okay, considering the fact that the Human Rights Commission was involved in an investigation and came up with recommendations, and those recommendations were implemented at some point, and now they're bringing him back? What does that tell you?
This is what I'm talking about. Okay, the TRC was set up for a certain reason, and then he was taken out and then brought back. Okay, what does that tell you? That tells you that people can do anything. People can do anything and then still be pardoned. Because how can he was removed for a reason, for certain things he did. So why would he be reappointed? Okay. Why would he be reappointed? What is the reason? So all the things he did, the things he was accused of, is baseless, is meaningless, or something. That is the question we should ask. Why?
Yeah, you know, he was accused.
Yes.
I mean, don't you think investigations were carried out and they found out that this guy is innocent?
Is it?
No, actually, that wasn't the case, because that particular investigation was already concluded by the Human Rights Commission. Just to set
Human Rights
straight.
Exactly.
That particular
and the
investigation was done by the Human Rights Commission.
Exactly. That is why it was
concluded. That is why he was actually removed and transferred.
Exactly.
So
that is not.
The other thing is, I mean, when Gorgui Mbub left, I mean, most people were crying for them to bring back Gorgui Mbub, that he is the only one who can handle anti-crime. I mean, when he was the boss of anti-crime, you know, there were less crime, he was arresting a lot of criminals. Do you think Gambia should operate this way? I mean, only one man play the show.
This is the issue we had with the former president. People will be like, oh, he was the only one that could handle the Gambia. But if we have this, if we keep holding on to this perception, things will not change. If we keep holding to the perception that, okay, this is the person that can handle, this is the person that can do it, there are other people that are able to. So because of the fact that this is the person that we should forget about his wrongdoings and just move on, if we keep holding on to this perception, we won't move on as a country. We just stay behind. We just.
Exactly. Okay. So now he's back. Let us see what will happen again, Janaba.
So on the Daily News, we have World Bank supports Gambia's health sector with modern tech equipment. So we've seen a lot of donations directed to our health ministry, and still our health ministry is not looking good. So I wonder what the problem is, what policies can be put in place, because I often see donations happening here and there. Now they're saying World Bank supports Gambia's health sector with modern equipment. So I don't know if it's because of equipment, is it because of leadership, or is it because of policies? That's what I want to understand.
I think it's a little of both. Policies, leadership, and everything. And this is why, this is what we're talking about, anti-corruption thing. Because we keep saying all the time, okay, this person, these people, this organization donated this organization. But then we go to the health centers and nothing. We don't see anything. So I think policies need to be put in place. And policies need to be put in place and to ensure that this equipment or whatever is accessible to everybody. And I think in this thing, corruption is... there's a little bit of corruption playing if we keep getting equipment and support and then we're not really seeing any improvement in the medical section. So I think policies need to be put in place and people need to be held accountable for certain things. If people are held accountable for certain things, if we mention names, like I was reading somewhere yesterday that that the KMC mayor mentioned names. If people start mentioning, if we know these people and we start mentioning names, they will desist. And then all this corruption thing, because I think this is corruption, all this corruption thing will reduce.
Yes. All right. Janaba, we have seen a lot of policies here. I mean, here and there, they put new rules, new policy. I mean, don't you think maintaining these policies is a problem too? Yes, maintaining them to make sure these things work.
Yeah, it's a problem in one sense. Like.
Don't you think it's a problem? Now, we have, we know sometimes if you go to the hospital, the hospital sort of drops. I mean, what are they doing to make sure they maintain so that these drugs are not taken out by their staff. Sometimes you go and you see things that are for patients, you know, you go to
take
the hospital,
them to their pharmacies, yes.
So
allegedly.
Allegedly. Yes.
Allegedly, always.
Don't you think it's maintaining these policies?
You think it's maintaining the policies that is the cause of the problem?
Exactly.
I think that, like I said, I think people need to brought to book. People need to brought to book, because we have this thing of maslaha around here. We have maslaha. Okay, you know this person is doing something wrong, and you keep quiet about it. Maybe because you're also getting certain thing. But I think, I don't know, certain people need to be put into certain places. I don't know, maybe certain people need to be put to certain places where they will report things that are happening. Maybe they would, like, undercover or something to...
I mean, they should have informers.
Yes, informers,
okay,
yes, informers, yes.
All right, moving on.
Yes.
I think now let us focus a little bit on your area.
Yes.
Seems these are a bit more technical. So moving on, we have journalists trained on dealing with fake news in election period. You are the editor of New Day.
Yes.
So what is the importance of actually equipping journalists in relation to reporting fake news? Because journalists really have huge responsibility during election period.
Yes. As journalists, the first thing, our role is to make people aware of what is happening in the country, in a particular place. And it is our we need to make sure that we disseminate the right news, the correct news. And if we're when we see something, when someone comes to us and say this particular thing is happening, it is our obligation. It is our obligation to ensure that this is actually the truth. To seek out the truth always, at all time, no matter what it takes. Like, we cannot just rumors. We cannot base our journalism based on rumors. We need to ensure that whatever we're reporting is actually the truth. So journalists, I'm aware of certain journalists that report fake news. Yeah. So we have to ensure that whatever we do, we ensure that
it's based
on facts. So just quickly, due to time constraints, you are a whole editor of a newspaper, New Day.
Yes.
So how do you ensure stories that come your way from your reporters are balanced?
Yes.
To make sure that these stories are not fake and all of that.
Okay. First, if we get news from reporters, we read them, then we go out ourselves to ensure that these news are actually true. We find out from sources to ensure that sometimes we interview sources, different sources, to see the balance, to seek the balance, to ensure that whatever news report we get is the truth, is actually the truth.
Okay, so that is the editor of New Day right there. Thank you so much for joining us. We are so happy that you're able to join us on the newspaper review. Like I mentioned, the newspaper review segment is meant to tell you guys what is happening in the country and have obviously an individual here to help us analyze these things. Thank you so much for joining us. We are really happy. Like I mentioned, we have the Community Watch, and we'll be taking a look at Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccination for Q Group staff and families. So we will be joined live by Mamadou Lamine Choi. He will be talking to us about how the vaccination process is going so far. Mamadou Lamine Choi, are you there?
So here at QCD, where I am, is in the camp where the vaccination will be taking place. We've been
Mamadou Lamine Choi, can you hear me? Because I can't hear you loud. And how is the turnout? Can you just talk to us about the turnout there? How is the turnout? Because I know vaccine hesitancy is something that we are dealing with right now. So how is the turnout so far? Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Mamadou Lamin Choi, have you already taken your vaccine? Have you already taken your shot? And okay. Okay, so how was the experience for you? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. I think we took the same vaccine. I also took the Sinopharm and I felt very, very normal. No pain, no dizziness. So I think we basically had the same experience. So can you engage somebody there just so they also share their experience? Somebody who has already taken their shot or somebody who's yet to take their shot, just for them to talk to us about their motivation and all of that. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.
First of all, thank the management of the Q Group for taking this initiative. It was well been planned and organized and arranged since last week through the efforts of Dr. Shamila Jah, who works with the WHO, and came to our office, and then we discussed issues relative to this day. And because it's a concern by a Q Group, and we felt that this campaign is everybody's concern. And initially, when we had the first exercise, the first campaign on AstraZeneca, we were going after people, but we realized that now people are very concerned about the COVID-19 pandemic, because people have realized that this is a disease that has come to stay with us, and the best way that we can minimize its spread among the population is to ensure that each and every one of us take that responsibility to get him or herself vaccinated. So I think what Q Group has done is really very commendable, and we are very impressive about it as a ministry, that the population is coming to meet us to say, come and we want to get this vaccination.
So the Q Group are taking an example for others to follow. As an authority of the Ministry of Health, when other companies also take similar initiative, how would it help the country in its fight against the coronavirus pandemic?
Quite naturally, that would be very welcoming for us. Even though we had our micro plan, as it was alluded to by one of our officers, we've already have our schedules as to how the teams are going to move. We have fixed teams, and we also have teams that are going on outreach. We can, because definitely our wish is to ensure that every Gambian from age 18 and above are vaccinated for Johnson & Johnson.
What is the risk of not taking the vaccine? We've seen
Yes. All right, so Mamadou Lamin Choi, we'll come back to you later. So just do us a favor and get to engage some of the staff who are there, who have already taken their shot or about to. So we will just allow you to go and get few people for us, and we'll get back to you soon. Thank you so much for that update. That is Mamadou Lamin Choi, live from Q City on the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccination for Q Group staff and families. Like I mentioned yesterday, there's mass vaccination ongoing. If it's not Q City, you can go to any health facility near you and get vaccinated. And yesterday I talked about the fact that you have 3 different options, which is a good thing. Previously it was just the AstraZeneca, but now at least we have about 3 options for you, so go get vaccinated.
Exactly.
So, Balde, I think we're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, we will head right on to social issues. Like I mentioned yesterday, our topic today is reparations. The TRRC reparations process is ongoing, and there are a lot of issues, a lot of rumors surrounding it. So we thought it wise to bring you Esa Jala, Head of Communications, TRRC, to get to tell us how this entire process is ongoing, to clear some of the misconceptions here and there. It is quite necessary. So we're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll head right on to social issues. Like I said, we're joined by Esa Jalo.
One nation, 8 tribes. We are the smiling coast of Africa. Gap-toothed, wide smile, rich melanin skin, radiant with the colors of a rich tapestry of cultures, telling one story of unity and beauty. Wrapped in the soft folds of a mother's sir, a Khalifa's grandbuba, we embody the past of our ancestors and the promise of our descendants. Follow the records of our history, this story that tells of a people watered by the river in the gleaming sun of a coastal nation. Listen to the folk tales, those old tales we grew up on. Lebon, Lupain, Amon Nafi, Danaam. Hear the music of an entire nation in the language of its heart and mother tongue. Our tongues are heavy with the song of our people. Rich and thick it rolls off like Domoda, soft like Yasa, Bena Chinla, Nyokomom. Feel the beat of our pounding feet as we dance to the sounds of a throbbing drum, ageless in its rhythm. The griot's kora that speaks the wisdom of the ages. The sweet sound of a mother's lullaby bringing even sweeter sleep. We clap a melody with young and old hands, a symphony full of the pleasures of life, the joys of work and home. We are Gambian. Bi suñu cosaan la, suñu dëkk, suñu bos.
Welcome back, viewers, from that short commercial break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV's This Morning program. And like I mentioned, before we went for the break, I am joined by my former boss, now the head of communications at TRRC. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Jenna. Thank you for having me.
Yes. So like I mentioned, today we'll be discussing reparations. I know you've been following comments on social media and people's reactions towards this whole process. So actually, before we talk about the process itself in depth, there's just a misconception, or there's something I want you to clear. I don't know if it's a misconception or not. The issue of government actually owing the TRRC reparations committee, because I know $50,000 has already been given to the TRRC. So how much is government actually owing as we speak to the TRRC in terms of the money that's supposed to be disbursed to these victims, before we go into the discussion proper?
Yeah, it's not as if as it's been said, as government owing. The thing is, when the reparations, TRRC is, its uniqueness is because it has mandate to grant reparations. Yeah. And TRRC has to get that money from government. So government itself committed to give TRRC $100 million. Okay. Dollars, sorry. Dollars. So they've given 50 million of that amount of money that is supposed to be paid to reparation. The other 50 million left behind has still not been paid because of issues surrounding it. Because what we realized, or what had happened, was the first $50 million was given to TRRC from the sale of assets of the former president. Okay. Now the other part of the assets, we understand that it is under subject to court order or whatever. So government is yet to give TRRC that part of the money. So it's not as if that owing in that kind of sense, because reparations is government's responsibility to pay. Even though TRRC is going to pay it, but government has to give them the money to pay it. So this is what is happening now, and that is not only the amount of money that will suffice for all the reparations payment. There's still much more to be paid. So TRRC on its own also embarked on some fundraising activities to gather some more money to be able to pay reparations. That also is part of it. So government's promise of that 50 million is what we are talking about.
Okay. Mr. Jallow, when you talk about reparation, people only think about finance, money. Can you clarify what type of reparations do we have?
We have a wide range of them. Financial reparation is like compensation. You have what you call restitution, you have what you call rehabilitation, and more we have memorialization as well. So all of these are categories of reparations. So this is the one that money is actually handed to victims. The other part is, for example, some members of the security forces who have been summarily dismissed wanted to be formally discharged out of the service. So that is part of it. So in reparation, the victim has to be satisfied as to what had happened to them to be able to gain back their dignity. For example, the people who were involved in the witch hunting exercise, they are supposed to be declared as non-witches. That they have been accused of being witches, then we recognize that what has been levied against them is actually not true. So those are all forms of reparations that are going on. So we had rehabilitation, in which we had actually provided interim reparations for other victims who have had medical conditions or who had some livelihood problems that we have been trying to solve. So all of these things are an array of things that we do in reparations.
All right. So moving on, I just want to understand something. Perpetrators taunt victims. Are these people going to benefit from the reparations process in any of the reparations that you just mentioned?
No.
Okay.
No reparations.
Is this according to law?
I don't know whether I would be able to answer according to law because I'm not a lawyer. But what happened is the TRRC had a reparations committee. This reparations committee, before it actually sits and decides on a reparation, is that all statements, because every testimony also goes out with statements, but not every statement is persons testified. So all these statements are analyzed, and then from a legal point of view to determine whether this person can qualify as a victim or not. Once that is done, that is also taken to the Human Rights Committee, which determines whether this person's human rights has been violated or not. When that is ready, then that person is categorized under the type of victim that person is, and then the reparations committee will sit and then see that person's reparations. So, but then the committee or the TRRC as a body has decided that anybody who has been a perpetrator and turned victim would not qualify. Whether that is law or not, that I can't answer.
Mr. Jallow, is it true that there are people that return their checks? And if it is true, why?
One person returned his check. I don't know whether that has been accepted, but it was came into the return and has made some demands. And that particular person is a victim of the April 10/11 incident. So that person has actually benefited from interim reparations. His complaint was he went to Turkey, and then he came back, he wasn't cured. There are a lot of things that had happened along the line. I wouldn't want to disclose some of the details. But let me just give a summary. These victims who were taken to Turkey, it is the Turkish government who offered medical support for them. But that actually included the treatment, it's only treatment at the hospital. So TRRC has to take them to Turkey, pay for their welfare. Some good people in this country, the GPA, Papa Usman Njai of Unique Solution or Unique Group, have paid in, helped in to support the transportation of these victims. TRRC funded their stay there. Every victim has to go with an escort, and then a TRRC official also has to be there, right? So, and when they arrived in Turkey, there was an obstacle because what happened was some Turkish soldiers were injured in the front line, and they had to come occupy those places. So our victims had to wait for a while, and that means we still have to pay for their stay. After that, COVID came in. The hospital that they were supposed to be treated was the center of treatment in Turkey. So this thing, all these things had created a gap or a delay in their treatment. So this guy, the time that they started touching him, it was about, they were doing some rehabilitation for physiotherapy. And that, before that even ended, TRRC's mandate is about to end. So TRRC cannot leave him there because TRRC wouldn't exist. Who else is going to take care of him? So he has to come back. So that is his scenario. He wasn't treated as he requested. He wasn't too happy with that, and we understand that. So, and anybody in the regulations, anybody who has benefited from interim reparations, there is a cap that you can get. It cannot go beyond $100,000.
Okay.
So that was why that 19% of that money was what was given to him. That is what he decided to return.
Okay. So is there a mechanism put in place or a structure to determine who gets what?
Yes, there are. We have come up with a regulation,
yes.
Reparations regulation, and this is what is being seen. And then all of these things were looked at by all the various committees that were set up to be able to determine who gets what. So a price, an amount is set for unlawful killing, for enforced disappearance, for torture, all the categories of torture, and all the other categories. So that is how it is being looked at. And anybody who has gone through all of these, through these reparations, through these violations, an amount is set. But what also we looked at, some people have suffered from multiple violations. Yes. For example, somebody is detained, somebody is tortured, somebody is stripped naked, or has even been sexually abused. All of these things are categories. But then when people are being paid in all these categories, that cannot exceed from unlawful killing. So even if you have all of these violations and all this amount of money are put together, it cannot exceed the amount of money that has been set out for unlawful killing. Yeah. So that is what the criteria has been set.
Okay. Yes. So probably that is why the Ghanaians,
yes,
that's why they're getting more.
Because it is all unlawful killing, about 32 million.
Yeah.
32 million.
Yeah.
Generally,
yes.
let's look at the TRRC. How far have you gone in discovering the truth?
Very far. It is very, very difficult to get the exact truth, but we have gone very close to the truth. We've actually found out a lot of things that people never thought we were going. These were going to be cold cases, but there are still issues that were unresolved, and this is the tragic part of this whole situation. For example, the exact whereabout of Chief Mane is not known. The exact whereabout of Kanyiba Kanye is not known. The exact whereabout of the American brothers who were executed were not known. The exact whereabout of Saul Ndao and Mahawa Champ is not known. So these are situations that are unresolved. But I believe that probably government will take up these things and start to find these things. This is one of the mandates of TRRC, to find out who the missing people. But these are things that were unresolved, because TRRC, if you look at it, it is one of the shortest term truth commission in the world. It's just 2.5 years, and this is an expensive exercise, so it has to stop somewhere. But then the TRRC, on the other hand, have discovered so many things. For example, we didn't know the exact number of people who actually were killed, the West African migrants who were killed. It was the TRRC who uncovered that. We didn't know what had happened to Usman Koro. He said it also came out of the blue as to how he was killed. So we have gone very close to the truth. We found out a lot. At least this is going to be something that is going to go into our archives, and it is going to be research material, and people will know exactly what had happened during this period. And all this data is being transferred to government, and this is where people can go and look at exactly what has been happening. Every testimony, every statement, everything is going to be archived. Yes,
right.
Exactly.
So moving on the Standard newspaper, we have APRC tells government to reject TRRC report. What do you make of this as a commission?
Well, the commission has no opinion on that as far as I'm concerned, because this is between a political party and government, and the TRRC wouldn't want to get into that, because we have been mandated to do a task, and our job is going to be focused on doing that job and handing it to government. What other people think about us doesn't actually bother us, because I think what we are trying to focus now on is to put together all those information that we have to present to government, and to leave government to decide what they want to do with it. This is our job. What political parties think, or what political parties may do or try to force government to do, really that is beyond us.
Yes. Okay. Mr. Jallow, let's talk about amnesty. Under what terms and conditions can the TRRC recommend the granting of amnesty?
Difficult question. Amnesty is a very tricky situation, because you're looking at a perpetrator who has committed serious human rights violation, and then you are recommending that person to be forgiven. This is very, very tricky. That means the victims have to be involved, and all the other necessary tools that are available also have to be looked at. For now, I can't say who is not going to be given amnesty, because that is going to be contained in the report. Whether that is also going to be happen or not, I don't know, because we also have an amnesty committee. But then there are conditions that the person comes out and truthful and have and show remorse for what the person has done. And a lot more other criteria. Probably, I would believe that the victims would also have to be to look at their satisfaction, or whether they would want to pursue this thing into the law, of course, or not. Yes.
Ibrahim, it seems a lot of questions that we want to ask Mr. Jallow will be in the report. So it seems. So how far has the report gone, really? Can you give us an estimation of when we should expect it? Is that possible?
We are supposed to submit on Friday.
Okay.
Although there's a lot of work being done in the background, because the report is not just one booklet that is just going to go to the president. There's supposed to be a compendium, and then there's going to be all these reports in volumes. Each theme is treated, and it is contained in their own report, and then it is going to be annexed by all these other documents. The unit reports and all whatnot are going to be there. So right now what is happening is we are compiling all of these things now. Putting all of them together is what is taking a lot of time now, because it's about documents. You need to put them in the right place, take it to the printer, and print. All those logistical arrangements are being done. So the lawyers are working close to round the clock, because sometimes they are in the office till 1 a.m. just to make sure that lawyers and some of the secretariat staff are doing that. So it is a whole process that is going on. The proofreaders are also working very hard. So this is going on. What we will be presenting to the president will be the report as in a kind of not summary, I wouldn't say summary. A report will be presented to me, but the whole order bulk of things that are going to accompany it will have to take some time before it all goes.
So we have Momodo Lamin Choi on the line, because we were just talking about the fact that the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccination for Q Group staff and families is underway. So Momodo Lamin Choi, can you hear me?
Has been initiated by the Q Group. And now what is happening is, from here they'll be going for registration, to the vaccination, they'll be taking their vaccines. So I have some people that have been identified to speak to me on this program today. Thank you very much, Ms. Kabe. So kindly introduce yourself. What naka feel si participate in vaccination being Amtech.
Alhamdulillah, kontaan naa pour ñëw bokk si ñuy vacciné tey fii si vaccination COVID-19. ñu ngi gërëm suñu kilifa suñu oncle Mr Mohamed Dia moom mu arrange pour ñun ñëpp ñu ñëw fii nii ngir dabu suñu wér gu yaram. ñu ngi encourage nag suñu mbokk yi, suñu yaay yi, suñu papa yi, suñu rakk yi, suñu mag yi ñëpp ñu nekk si kër gi pour ñu ñëw def vaccination bi, parce que lu am solo la. ndax gis nañu àddina si lu feebar bi di def ni ñaa ngee dee, ñu ngi koo dégg di ko gis si télé yi, suñu dëkkandoor yi ñëpp. kon nag comme que am nañ opportunité bi pour ñëw vacciner, ñun ñëpp nañ ñëw def vaccination bi ci kàttanu yàlla ak mbaaxam yàlla mun na ñëw musal.
yow soo déggee misinformation si yoo xam ne ñu ngi nekk di dem si social media bi mu tere ñu bëri pour ñu war a mun a ñu jël vaccine bi, yow loo gisee loolu?
li ma ko gisee mooy ñu fàtte loolu noonu rek te xam ne vaccine bi nii soo gisee ñu approuve ko pour ñëpp mun koo use dafa jaar through WHO te ñoom duñ indi dara si askan bi loo xam ne daf leen a lor seega nañ ko, gis nañ ne lu baax la si doomi aada yi moo tax ñu isi ko. kon nag ne ñëpp góom ne lii nii ku ko jël alhamdulilah yàlla mun na laa musal te ñëpp ne ñëw daal. man daal li ma ñaax ñëpp mooy ne ñëpp ñëw jël ko, su ko defee yàlla mun ñëw musal.
jërëjëf Miss Kebe moom staff yi Q Group la, mu ngi liggéey si QCell. ñu ngi am beneen QCell staff bu toogee ni Mr Jawo, dinañ waxtaan ak moom tuuti. And thank you very much, Mr Jawo. We're seeing you coming to take part in the vaccination campaign that has been initiated by the Q Group. What are your words on this special occasion?
My name is Ibrahim Jawo, an employee for the Q Group. My reason of coming here today is to take my vaccine. As you know, this is an outbreak in the entire world, and then it has done a lot of damages in the economy of this world, and that killed a lot of people around the world. These vaccines are medicines that will protect us. It doesn't mean when you take the vaccine, you will not have corona, but it will not do the damages that it will do to other people who have not taken the vaccine. So my reason of coming here is to do that and take it. And then my message to the public out there is, let everyone try to take this vaccine. It is our safety, and it will keep the world safe. And that's why I'm here today.
As a parent, what measures have you taken to ensure that members of your family are protected from the virus? And that will include bringing them for vaccination.
Yeah, number one, when the Ministry of Health issued some safety precautions or measures that people use, those are still in place. And I thank our CEO who organized for us to come and be vaccinated here, and you also encourage each and everybody to convince your family and your neighbors to come over for a vaccination. And that is why we are here. So we did that, and we talked to our immediate families, for so most of us, our families will be here to do the vaccine. And that's why we are here.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jawo. As we've seen, members of the Q Group and their family, members of the Q Group staff, including family, loved ones, everybody has been encouraged by the Q Group to come and take part in this massive vaccination campaign that is happening live at Q City Geneva.
Lamin Choi there, live at Q City, giving us updates on the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccination for Q Group staff and family. Thank you so much, Momodu Lamin Choi, for that update. I am so happy that Q Group staff are willing to take this particular vaccine. Like I always say, the vaccine is the only thing that can prevent us, that can obviously make us survive this particular pandemic. Absolutely. Like I said, I took my vaccination. I hope you did, yes, Ibrahim.
I will take mine.
You will take yours?
Take mine, but I know it is very important. It is very important to take the vaccine, Geneva.
Okay.
So from here, I'll go straight to Q City.
Let's see if our guest took his vaccine.
Mr. Jallo.
I have taken my 2 jabs.
Okay, so, and how was that experience for you?
It was all right. It was okay. There was no problem.
Some people are taking this vaccine too far. I mean, most people tend to think this is a problem of taking the vaccine. So there is no problem. It's just like any other injection.
Exactly.
You and go take your vaccine and you are safe.
Yeah, and like I said, these vaccines are confirmed by the WHO. Do not take all these rumors about Smajele vaccine, all of those things. So let's put those things aside and monitor the research being done by the WHO. I think that's the way forward. Exactly. So going back to our topic on social issues, which is reparations. So Mr. Jallo, I don't know if you'll be willing to answer this particular question, but this is also a concern on the path of the public in relation to the TRRC, because a lot of people are talking about the fact that there are certain heads at the TRRC who allegedly want to contest for elections, and this might affect the credibility of the TRRC. This is word on the streets. So what do you think in relation to that?
I don't know whether it is going to affect the credibility of the TRRC. The point is, the exercise that is being done has been done on various levels. Okay. There are different people who are involved at different levels to do a certain kind of job. Yeah. So the people who are concerned there have a particular role to play, and that doesn't mean that they have the final say on everything that is going to be said. So them as citizens have the right to say whatever they want to do after the TRRC. The report in itself, when it is presented, this is going to go into government's hand. But then the question we need to ask ourselves is, would there be any legal basis to say that the report is going to be rejected because 2 individuals are interested in politics? Where would there be any legal basis on that? Or to look at the report, whether the report has actually been fair, has it been objective, has it actually tried to resolve or has it actually tried to do, or the TRRC, has it actually achieved what it is meant to do? Has it done its job the way it is supposed to be doing it, in the proper way, without prejudice or any form of interference? So I think that is more important. They are not about individuals who have ambitions of other things.
So you're trying to say that these people are just a section of the whole commission? Actually,
not a section. It's only 2 individuals that are here who actually have been talked about in this issue. But I'm saying that They are not the alpha and omega of TRRC. So the thing is, the report comes out, whether their intention to do whatever they want to do outside TRRC would not affect the report, because the people who are involved in the report are of different sections. Let me explain to you now. We have all witnessed what has happened during the testimonies, and we can't alter that. That is there, it is in the record. The people, the victims have submitted their statements. The independent witnesses submitted statements. The expert witnesses submitted statements. The perpetrators submitted statements. These are all records that are there. This is what is going to determine the report of the TRRC, not somebody's intention to do something outside. When the report is being done, the way the report is being done right now, there are a group of people who are analyzing these testimonies, and these two individuals are not involved in that as well. They analyze it and they determine, you know, for example, if this person is a victim, and you know, whatever that they think about this thing. So that is sent to the report writers. The report writers will compile the report. That report is a draft that also is sent to a consultant, the local consultant we have, who is actually hired by the UNDP at the TRRC. So that independent consultant will look at the report, and then from there it is also sent to an international consultant who is in Sierra Leone, who will also look at it before it comes back to the TRRC and presented to the commissioners as a group. So the commissioners will sit and will look at all of these things line by line, whether they have agreed that this is what they actually think is the right thing to put in the report, then before it is taken to the printers. So this whole process, these individuals can't, even if they want to, they would not be able to do all of
that. Is why we have you here, like I said, to clear some of these misconceptions.
You know what? It will not be fair if Mr. Jallow is here and we didn't ask him about renaming of the arch to Memorial Arch.
Yes.
Suddenly, we didn't hear about the renaming of the arch. What happened?
Yeah, we actually signed a memorandum of understanding with the National Center for Arts and Culture, who are the custodians of the arch. And then, because we want to use the arch as a memorial ground, where we are going to engrave the names of all those who have disappeared during the past 22 years. So we did that, and that was done on the 24th of May. We actually went through a lot of process before doing that, in consultation with our line ministry, the Ministry of Justice.
But, I mean, sorry, the minister said on Standard newspaper that his ministry is not aware. Even the president is not aware of this.
Yes, I don't know whether the president isn't aware or the minister himself isn't aware, but I can confirm to you that the Ministry of Justice was informed. And the day that the memorandum of understanding was written between the TRRC and the NCAC, on the 24th of May to be precise, a letter was sent to the Ministry of Justice. I didn't come with the documents, but I have them, that the ministry was aware. In fact, it is not only one letter that went to the Ministry of Justice. They are aware. Whether the president was aware, that I cannot tell, because we do not communicate directly to the president. We communicate directly to the Ministry of Justice. Whether the minister himself was aware, I can also say, but I can confirm to you that letters were sent to the Ministry of Justice. Yes. So that was the thing. So then that was halted for now. I don't know what is going to happen, but that is also in the process, part of our reparations as memorialization. The arch is going to be used as an exhibition place to exhibit all of these materials that we have gathered. In fact, we have started submitting some of these things to the National Center for Art and Culture for
Well, I think last week I went to the arch and I saw some of the display in the arch. So
yes, some of these things would have to go there. So whether the renaming would go ahead or wouldn't go, I cannot tell you for now. It has been suspended until government decides on it. What they have said was for that to be included in the recommendation. Sure, it would be, I believe it would be in the recommendations to do that, because we think it is fitting to memorialize the victims of the 22 years of dictatorship.
All right. So thank you so much, Mr. Jallow, for joining us on this particular program. Like I said, we needed to do this because there are a lot of talk when it comes to reparations currently. So it's important that you came and talked about all of these things. And I hope it is quite clear to the viewers in relation to some of the misconceptions.
Let me just add this. Currently, the reparations payments are going on. Payments are being done at the office, and there's a team that is also going around. We've been to Jambur, we've been to Jambanjeli, we've been to Galoya, we've been to Makumbaya. These are communities that were abused during that time. Yesterday they were supposed to be in Fonyi, and then from there they'll go to Jara Sikunda, then Kermot Ali, then Sabah Njai, and then back to SL before they come back here. So far at the office, amount of money that has been paid is over $6 million.
Okay.
I can't say how much is being paid during the outreach. Okay. So that is the situation for now, as we
All
speak.
right, but we had Said Matijau here yesterday, and he was talking about the fact that maybe the way the payments are being done is not in a good way. He was talking about that when we heard about the fact that somebody returned his check. He said, are they even disbursing this money properly? How are they even doing it? Is it friendly?
Maybe Said Mati didn't know what he's talking about.
Okay.
Because let me tell you, the amount of money that the TRRC has, it cannot pay everybody in full.
Okay.
What they have decided, all those whose payment are under $50,000 are paid straight away.
Okay.
The rest are paid in pro rata. That means TRRC is paying 19%, because at first TRRC wanted to pay 25%, and the money wasn't enough. They brought it back to 23%, the money wasn't enough, and they have to bring it back to 19% to be able to pay all those people. So if your reparation is, say, for example, $100,000, you will be paid $19,000, for example, and then the rest of the money that government owes to you, they give you a receipt that the time that government is ready, because government has promised to set up an independent institution which is going to continue the reparations payment, and then the rest of your money will be paid back off.
And when is that?
Well, that is left to government. That is not TRRC's problem now, because TRRC has disbursed all the money that we have. We can't give what we don't have. So the money that we have also we can't keep, because when we cease to exist, that means the people don't have access to the TRRC. So all the money that we have, we pay to all the victims. So the rest of the money, government is supposed to pay about $168 million to be able to complete the payment. So it is on pro rata basis. So somebody who said it is not done properly should actually do some little research and find out how this thing is
maybe. He said maybe.
Yeah, I understand. You know, I understand, but it may be probably would have
been. Mr. Jallo, you mentioned Makumbaya, you mentioned Galoya. Is it those that were accused of involving in the witch hunt exercise?
Yes, because these are also communities. It's easier to go there. Most of them are elderly. To go into their communities, mobilize them at one place and pay them. So the Jambanjeli issue was about the protest of that borehole thing. You know, the Sikunda issue, you remember, that also is about the alcalship dispute. The Sabah Njayan also is a political issue. The Kermot Ali, you remember about that religious issue that happened around there. So these are communities. It would be easier for us to go there and pay them rather than bringing all of them back here to be paying them. So that is what is happening.
Yeah, so you said you come on television to say these people were allegedly called
not coming on television, but it's going to be in the recommendation for government to
actually do that.
Yeah, that is supposed to be part of the
recommendations.
So what about those that are not alive right now? Is it?
Yeah, everybody who is not alive, all of those who have been killed, their reparations will be paid to their families. But for example, if the person has 2 wives and many children, that reparation, that money is not going to be handed to one person. That money will go to the curator, and the curator will decide how this thing is going to be paid to families, or else there can be problems. You know, there are victims who also have multiple people who came to report about them, and they didn't come together. For example, somebody dies, one day the brother comes, the next day the uncle comes, the another day the sister comes. So we have all of these things. So when that person's reparation is ready, the payment, it cannot be handed to one person. All right? Whereas if there are people who are the direct next of kin of these people, for example, if a man dies and is with one wife and children, that is very easy to do. But if there is a complication, that is sent to the curator for the curator to decide. The curator will call those people to sort out their reparation.
Well, you have a big job.
Yeah, you have a big task ahead of you. And we just hope that the remaining money will be paid eventually, and all of these people will have their reparations in full.
Absolutely, absolutely, yes. Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Jallo, on our social issues segment discussing reparations. Mr. Jallo is the head of the TRRC Communications, but obviously I know you'll be leaving very soon, like you mentioned, because this is coming to an end, if not to an end already. Yes. Thank you so much for joining us. We will take a short commercial break. When we come back, we will take a look at the Keeping Fit segment. Do stay tuned.
Today, any person who is above the age of 65 years is qualified to contest as president of this country. So it's not made for Ousainou Darboe as people, and in fact the media sometimes, falsely project. After all, removing of the increase in the age of judges before they retire. What benefit is that, Ousainou Darboe? Well, I mean, you take back prodigal sons, but when they are not prodigal sons, we don't take back home. See, politics, there must be this issue. That's what I was telling, I had earlier said, you do not look at a political advantage. If all of them were to come back and accept that, we are taking a political advantage. And they will be deviating from our principle. Have they been cured of the cancer that led us to exercise them?
State of Affairs, airing tonight.
The best product in town is back. QCell's MiFi router. Get the best MiFi in the country for just $2,800 and connect up to 15 users with 4G internet speeds and a long-lasting battery life. So rush now to any of our customer care locations and get the best for less while stocks last. For more info, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Senior Boss, the Gambia's quality network. We innovate, others follow.
With so many things to do in a single day, it's important to have a network you can trust. When there's family and friends to connect with and business calls to make, you need a network that is reliable and fast. Talk longer, browse faster, go farther, and roam wider. When your network is solid, the world is your oyster. QCell, your trusted network in the Gambia.
Want more in your bundle? At QCell, the biggest, fastest, and most reliable mobile operator, we've got you covered with Sunyu Bundle. With Sunyu Bundle, dial *303# and get the bundle of your choice. Sunyu Bundle, affordable, fast, and reliable. QCell, we innovate, others follow.
Step into the future of television with sleek and slim design Samsung Smart TVs, ranging in size from 32 to 75 inches and in different technology. Smart LED, Crystal UHD, Ultra High Definition, and QLED Quantum Dot LED. Get new ways of interacting with your TV as our TVs offer an unparalleled vision adventure from the comfort of your living room. Ultra Viewing Angle, powerful picture quality, web browser, gallery, EarthNet LAN, wireless LAN built-in, Bluetooth, screen mirroring technology, mobile on TV mirroring, built-in voice assistance, Wi-Fi direct. Not only that, our TVs are backed with 12 months warranty and we are currently on a promotion. Contact us on 333-3217.
Welcome back, viewers, from that short commercial break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV's This Morning program, and I mentioned that we are going on to our Keeping Fit segment, but unfortunately, due to time constraints, we'll be heading right on to the entertainment update, and we are joined by Skankman Sweezy.
Yeah, come Skankman! As usual and always, man. Good morning, Gambia. Good morning, QTV. Good morning, everybody. It's This Morning show that comes your way every day from Monday to Thursday. And it's the Q Group Vaccination Day. If you're not been vaccinated yet, just go to QCT.
Are you vaccinated?
Not yet. I'm going there straight from here.
And I need a picture as proof.
Exactly. You're going to see my proof tomorrow.
We're giving them the morning vaccination.
Exactly.
Yeah, we need proof from him.
Yeah. No,
he can be a criminal sometimes.
I'm going to get my vaccine today. I'm going to get my vaccine today. And with me in the studio today is my entertainment analyst, D-Jobs Jobate. Welcome in the studio.
That's right, Susie. Thank you very much for having me. I'm glad to meet my handsome and my beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
exactly.
you.
It's a pleasure. Yeah. You know, we're talking about different topics today.
Yeah.
But first of all, let's talk about debt clash in the Gambia.
Yeah.
And what do you think is lacking, the dialogue that is lacking between promoters and event organizers in the Gambia?
That's right. It's a serious matter. In fact, the issue of date class have raised mounting public concerns in the industry. Of recent, we've seen also the importance of dialogue. We've seen the event of Kombonka and that of Hadifai, the Pavkan event. But then when Malamin Fati saw their post on Facebook, what he had to do was to call Hadifai and Co. so that they can discuss. Unlike other people who, you know, at some point went to bully, you know, other people that have brought in events to preoccupy their events. We've seen the event of Jizzle, you know, and that of One Pack.
Exactly.
You know, there was in that dialogue, you know, at some point, the music enthusiasts also went up there to say, okay, the reason why Jizzle has staged that event, it was because they want to sabotage, you know, One Pack's event. And then, you know, a foreign artist was involved. So we've seen all that happen. But over the years, we've also pronounced this in Capital Medis, that it wouldn't be good for us to have events preoccupying events. It is a very small industry. And then, you know, the music enthusiasts also are the same. So obviously the crowd
the
of
same
ST,
support, the same fun, everybody
exactly
the same thing every time.
Exactly. So we also have to consider the fact that most of these music enthusiasts are low-income earners. You know, they cannot go to show, you know, to ST show, for example, when this will also have a show at somewhere. So, you know, around that, we also have to be careful. The way we stage events, cognizant of the music enthusiasts. But then, one thing also that is important is the role of GAMP in solving all these problems. You know, I said it here.
It's something I always keep saying as well. I don't know what GAMP is really doing in the industry.
Exactly.
But to me, they are just there to occupy the space of being there in the industry.
That's it. And that is where the promoters and producers belong. And the promoters and event organizers are the ones bringing events to us. So obviously, what we expect is for GAMP to register all these events that are happening. Let's say if you have an event already, you should book with them. You should inform them that I have a particular event in this so-so date, so that they will not give your date to somebody else. Or in the event, somebody else, you know, take the same date with you. Still now they can come to arbitrate to say, no, it is Sweezy that first took this particular date, so we cannot definitely give it to you. Yes, but again, it's important for us to be organized in the way we, you know, organize events. Like we've seen the fly of Nyancho months ago, the police hall. Obviously, anybody that should come to take the same event next year, people will be like, no, Nyancho came up with this event.
It was the first to release his fly, actually.
Exactly.
So you don't, I don't think it's something that you should do as well.
Yes.
So now, secondly as well, what do you think the Gambian entertainment industry, or the Gambian industry itself, the entertainment sector itself, what do you think they are lacking that should boost up the sector into another level?
It's proper organization, Sweezy, and giving people the right positions, people that know the job, people that have utmost interest in the job. But what we are seeing, look at GAMP, the members that are even there. You know, these are members that wouldn't even know certain artists in the country.
Exactly.
So that's not the way forward. The way forward is we should be able to involve, we should have utmost interest in the business, you know, to be able to bring whatever development. Otherwise, it will be a problem. We have to engage the right experts to be holding positions at national level. Yeah, like I said, if you look at GAMP or you look at GAMP music, you know, we still have people that have less experience, people that don't have that rapport, you know, with artists out there. So we need to have more responsible people, people that have keen interest, the knowledge and experience.
I think, D-Jobs, it's not just a matter of talking, but it's a matter of action. Because Gambian music, we've seen, the Gambia is not a big country. You know, and my fans are the fans of Jenaba. You know?
Exactly.
So we all have the same fans. So why not we see how to organize ourselves so that we don't fall into these problems?
Yeah, I think, Balde, what you just mentioned is very important. And they talked about the fact that there's a body actually responsible for this.
That's GAMP.
And let me say something. I know we'll be blaming the body here and there. The blame game is there. But it's people like you, D-Jobs, that are supposed to go and engage those people and actually talk to them to make sure that this is structured, whereby, like you mentioned, some of these events will be registered. So what is the problem? Can these people be petitioned or something? I'm just suggesting. What is the problem?
They can be. You know, like I said, GAMP is an artistic society. under the NCAC.
Okay.
Yes, they are existing, but they don't have certain powers to be able to arbitrate or to be able to come up with whatever petition regarding these mishappenings.
Okay.
That is the problem. You know, there comes another question. Do people in fact take GAM seriously?
Okay. That's the problem.
Yeah, when you have certain artists who believe that without these artistic societies, they can still go. Like I once told VM, that we have certain artists, you know, and certain promoters who feel with or without GAM they
That's
can
the
go.
problem.
And
then your entertainment scene is not organized.
Nothing is organized.
You're not organized.
It's yet to be organized, especially with the advent of these foreign, you know, artists, you know, affiliates or whatever, people that are bringing in foreign artists, you know, in our prime dates. You know, let's say around November, December.
Those are prime dates in the Gambia.
Exactly.
What I think,
when we have Gambian artists that stage show within those periods.
Exactly.
Well. And one thing is, I don't blame GAM fully as well.
What I think,
some of the artists we have in the industry are not registered on the NCAC.
That's that side.
So GAM cannot be responsible for certain artists while they are not registered.
Exactly.
So I cannot take a date when I'm not registered and then an unregistered artist.
But maybe those artists do not also see the need to be registered because the benefits are not there.
Exactly.
Let's also balance it.
I think the National Center for Arts and Culture are not doing well. I mean,
it's a fact.
If they want to know, let them ask me.
All they do is go travel overseas, get their per diem, come back.
Okay, guys, let's not hit on the NCAC to an extent because they're not here to defend themselves. Let's just... okay, but Ibrahim, I think we should use this opportunity to actually invite them here. We are calling them on. If you're watching this program and feel like you also have misconceptions that you want to clear, please come on this program and join Skengman Sweezy to be able to also comment on these things because we want something balanced, okay? Yes, we want something balanced.
That's right. So the other sector is the producers in the Gambia. Now, we've seen certain producers making waves in the industry as well.
Yes.
Now, you think Gambian producers are qualified well enough to produce standard music that can sell the Gambian music itself outside the Gambia territory?
Very well qualified, Susie. We've seen J-Live's great job when he produced for ST, you know, and Stonebwoy. We've seen J-Live, you know, working with Siphon Bobo. You know, we've seen stylists, you know, over the years, Cyboy. These are great producers. The thing is, we also have to accommodate homegrown talents. That's the fact of the matter. We have to have utmost flyer for the producers that are in the Gambia here. But what are we seeing of recent? We are seeing artists engaging foreign producers, foreign video producers, you know, to work with them.
But D-Jobs, let's agree to disagree here. It's not a bad idea if you look at it, because they are at liberty to also hire these people. Maybe there's somewhere they want to reach.
Very well.
What do you think about that?
Very well.
So it means the producers also have to up their game.
No, it comes to this also, Jennifer. When we keep saying that we have to be studious in our country before outside, we have to make sure we give more opportunity to Gambian artists before outside. It goes to that, and also that we have to have this higher regards for the producers that are here. You know, because whatever what happened, at the end of the day, you know, it is their name that will be out there.
Exactly. Now, one thing, we have people like Gando in the Gambia.
Yes.
We have STS.
When
it comes to visual production.
They're doing well.
They're great. They're doing well. So I don't think it's important you going out, getting a Senegalese video director to come do something for you. And at the end, they get the reward.
The credit,
So even if your video is way classic and there is an award in the Gambia,
that's right,
your video could be nominated for only for the video of the year. But it means the producer that did the video is not going to be nominated because it's a foreigner. So I think it's time for us to empower our own Gambian video directors and producers as well.
There are a lot of things to talk about here, but due to time constraints, Skengman, please wrap up in a second.
It was an interesting discussion today. But I think we had a long way to go, and we're going to have NCAC on this platform. Anytime.
All right. Thank you so much, Skengman Sweezy. I'll have to cut it there. Thank you so much, D-Jobs, our entertainment analyst, should I call him? Thank you so much for joining us on the program. So, Ibrahima, that is all we have for you viewers on this edition of QTV's This Morning program. Don't forget to contact our marketing team, get to negotiate with them, and join us on this particular program. And don't also forget to connect with us on our different social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram. Go and subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay connected with what QTV has to offer. Till we come your way tomorrow. Bye for now.
Bye for now.